Today we are reporting advantage and disadvantage of technology, featuring grade 7.
Hello, my name is Franco Forton, and today we're going to be having a social experiment that we're going to talk about random people, about advantage and disadvantages of technology. So let's get into it.
I don't wanna know, no, who's taking you home, and loving you so. The way I used to love you, no, I don't wanna know, no.
And here's our second person to interview, and this is JJ Brown. So JJ, what do you think that, can you live without technology and in society, and would that affect our society today? So JJ, can you live without technology in your own perspective?
No, because we can't live like this without technology. Nothing will change that.
Okay JJ, here's our second question. What do you think are the disadvantages of technology?
Disadvantages. Example of cell phone. Cell phone is an example of technology. Some people use too much cell phones that they can have time for their parents, to their parents, time for their parents, to their parents.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
To their child, time, I don't know, they're like addicted to it. So that's it. And shit.
Well, thank you JJ for your very kind answers.
Yeah, sure. Anytime.
Alright, so now let's move on to our next person. Okay, so I'm here with Lance Pagasa right here. So tell me, can you live without technology?
No, maybe not.
Well then explain.
Well, you see, technology is a big part of people's lives nowadays. Every aspect of people's lives require technology, and vice versa. People require technology for aspects of their lives. So say, if you live without technology, it becomes harder to cook, it becomes harder to do things at home, it becomes harder to gain information, and it becomes harder to do multiple things that would be much easier without technology. So if you live without technology, it would be as if you're living 1,000 years into the past. Things would be harder. You won't be living a life in the present, you would be living a life in the past, which is basically not even living. You're in this sort of stasis if you're not in technology. You're not advancing with everyone else. So in that standpoint, I prefer to stay with the flow, and I want to stay using technology and advancing along with everyone else.
The next question is, what are the disadvantages of technology from our environment and people today?
Alright, there are many disadvantages of technology nowadays. On our environment, let's say, okay, so to advance our technology, we have to consume a lot of fuel, a lot of not only ideas, but fossil fuels, obviously. With the advance of technology, more fuel is consumed, more fossil fuels are consumed, and thus more pollution is created. So if more pollution is created, it has a horrible effect on our environment. Nature is destroyed, ecosystems are burned down, that kind of stuff. So if that happens, of course technology will advance, but the lifespan of our Earth decreases even further. So if the lifespan of Earth decreases, then it'll also decrease the fullest potential of how much technology could advance. To people, social media is a big part of technology nowadays, and social media serves as a platform for people to share their thoughts. Thus, a lot of big people, a lot of influential people use social media as a way to hypnotize people. So let's say you have an idol, and your idol says something. Everyone will follow that idol just because they idolize that person. They won't consider logic, they won't consider stuff that are obvious. They'll just go with whatever thought that is implemented by their favorite idol or by a government official. So technology, or social media, thus it becomes a tool for hypnotizing a lot of people, for mass hypnotism, in this case. And it does make people stupid.
Well then, thank you for a very kind question right there. Alright, let's move on to the next person. We're going to interview a boy named Limo Gabes, who has been sick for a week now with seizure or 2 minutes radiation from diabetes. this is one of the disadvantage of technology. So let's go. So this is the boy that I was talking about. His name is Nemo, that he had a sickness from getting too much seizure. If you don't know what seizure is, seizure that causes from using too much gadgets that it causes a radiation that can make a person tremble or shaking. So Nemo, tell us about this condition you're having right now.
I don't want to live anymore. I just want to go.
Sometimes Limbal suffers from trembling or shaking at nighttime.
Okay, now let's move on to our next person to interview. So let's go. Okay guys, so this is my sister Cheska Porto.
Yes, I'm Jessica Porto.
She introduced herself. So, Ate, I have a few questions for you. Can you live without technology and explain why?
Probably not. Because technology can save a lot of time. Like for example, when you're transporting, going somewhere, you need a car, right? And a car is a kind of technology, and like what I've said, it can save a lot of time to travel.
Okay, so our next question. What do you think are the disadvantages of technology as of today?
I think one of the disadvantages of technologies nowadays is it increases the consumption of electricity and some fuels.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Ate, for your very kind answer. So now we're done talking about the disadvantages of technology. Now we're going to be talking about the advantages of technology, or the goodness of the technology nowadays. So then, let's now move on to interviewing more people about this topic. Alright, now this is our first person to talk about the advantages of technology. This is Teacher Lane right beside me. So, I have only one question for you. What are the advantages of technology for you?
Okay, so for the 21st century, because right now we are on our 21st century, and we all know that technology is an advancement and a benefit to all, especially for the 21st century learners. And for me, the major or great benefit of technology is that it really makes the student's life easier. Or as a student, for the students, technology is the answer to everything. Is the answer to their difficulties, is the answer to their schooling, because it makes them easier to do projects, assignments, and with the presence of internet, worldwide internet, and Google and different sites all around the world, all around the globe, they won't have any difficulty in doing their homework and in gaining or getting some ideas for their projects. Okay, so what else? Aside from being a benefit to students, it is also beneficial for the factory workers, for the employees, because all of their works are already done in no amount of time. Just like in the olden days, we are using manual labor, so it makes it hard for the employees to finish their job on time. But right now, since we have the presence of technology, we already have, or the employees have no difficulty in reaching their quota every day for their production or for the mass production of their products. Okay, so I think that's the benefit, the major and great benefit of having technology in our lives. Okay, thank you, Franco.
Well, thank you too for your remarkable message. So then now, let's move on. Okay, so my question is, what do you think are the advantages of technology?
First, the evolution of technology is beneficial to humans for several reasons. At the medical level, technology can help treat more sick people and consequently save many lives.
The invention of the computer was a very important point
Communication is thus enhanced and companies can communicate more easily with foreign countries. Research is also simplified. Technology improves daily lives, allowing to move physical storage units to virtual storage racks and more. Scientists of the time are also able to send astronauts to the moon. Thanks to technology. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, well, thank you for your very remarkable message. So, alright then, I think that's all wrapped up for them. So, let's move on.
Actually, tapos na eh. So, yun lang. Thanks for watching. This is our project on ICT. Yay.
Something isn't right with this. I've been missing paying attention. You